Life is funny. Laugh about it. Subscribe to this channel.
The other day, I went to LA from NYC on R&R. I left JFK towards LAX with a layover in DC. I flew VIP on TWA with an impressive ETA on a DC-10 approved by the FAA, the NTSB, and the TSA. I was drinking J&B, CC&7, Hennessy VSOP, VO, and V8. The flight attendant said, "Sir, slow down. Can I get you an RC or an A&W?" I said, "Give me an H2O, PDQ, okay? I got a PP." I wanted to watch the NBA on ESPN, but they were showing an MIA POW report on CNN. Then the movie started. It was E.T. When we landed, I needed to rent a car. They had a BMW, an RX-7, a GT, a GTO, an MG, a GM, a VW with an STT sticker, and an AMC RV with AM/FM, a JVC EQ, and JBLs all around. It had a GPS, a GE LED TV with HDMI and USB, an RCA VHS VCR with DVD, and you could get CBS, ABC, watch SNL on NBC, the BBC, QVC, TNT, PBS, BET, HBO, VHF, VH1, or watch TMZ or a stupid VJ on MTV. Lots of work for the FCC. It had an old AT&T phone with MCI. I said, I'll take it, even though the AC needed some CO2. I was cruising along listening to ELO and ELP on my favorite station because the other station DJ was playing NWA, REO, and REM. Ugh! And the AOR station was playing an AC/DC CD. What BS? Even the TDK and the JVC had Bee Gees on it. All of a sudden, some SOB from USC on an ATV almost hit me on PCH. I was PO'd. I said, "F you, you POS!" Good thing the RV had ABS. The near miss made him doo-doo in his BVDs. I was shaken, needed a drink, but I was out of cash. So I stopped at the ATM at the B of A. I've got a great TRW and an IRA and an SNL with a nice APR into the FDIC. Ask the IRS. That's A-okay. I bought some PBR and an IPA at an AM/PM. The guy said, "Let me see your ID, ASAP." Okay. I said, "Oh, I see." My stomach was MT. I wanted a BLT and a PB&J or some KFC with no MSG or GMOs and some M&Ms, all regulated by the FDA. I picked up my iPhone, updated my iOS, and texted my BFF. She said she thought she was Pregos and went to the CVS and bought an EPT, but didn't know how to use it. So I fired up my DSL, went on AOL, and typed in the URL http://www.ept.com, looking at the FAQs. Okay, BTW, I CC'd her on the email and IM'd her on FB. She said, "OMG, LOL, XOXO, JK, TTYL. I was looking to party. I ran into this guy who said he was a VP A&R man at A&M. He said he knew of a BMI party that he'd RSVP'd to, but it was on the QT because of PR. I had to sign an NDA. He looked like he had a high IQ and probably understood E=MC². His CNR suit was real GQ. This party was no BYOB, this party was LGBT wild. Right out of a movie. Not an MGM, 2-punch TNA, IMO. I met the CEO of the LLC that did CGI on shows like CSI, NCIS, and DIY. On his CV, it said that he used to run IT for the NYPD, so I figured I should watch my P's and Q's. So this woman with an IUD wearing PJs smeared with KY and WD-40 offered me a BJ. She was easy. She looked like she'd done an OZ of PCP or ecstasy. Someone must have put GHB in her drink. She just needed a little TLC, but she gave me the EBGBs. Probably into S&M and had an STD like HPV or NSU, aka VD. She had a UTI and needed some CBD. She had BO. I said PU. I had to have a BM, but there was no TP. I said, "Oh gee, TMI." It was really hot in there. I said, "Man, do you own the DWP? Bring in an HVAC repair guy and bill it to your HOA." He said, "FYI, according to the CC&Rs, I CC'd the PDF to them and they just gave me an IOU. WTF?" The guy next to me said he just recorded an LP on MCA. He said, "Check out my IMDb page." He had on yellow tights like the FTD florist. I guess that's his MO. He and his boyfriend were dancing to EDM and showing lots of PDA and taking POV selfies on his DSLR while dancing to YMCA. LMFAO. I had to get the hell out of there. I jumped in my GMC SUV and drove like a madman down the 101 to the 405 towards the OC listening to BTO when I suddenly realized that someone put LSD in my OJ. I saw UFOs! I yelled SOS! Well, the LAPD must have had ESP because this huge ERA-looking woman cop with PMS pulled me over. She said, "What's your name?" I said, "Casey." She said my BAC was .23 and checked me for THC. She was mean. She looked like she could have won MVP in the NFL. She gave me a DUI, called the DA at the DOJ and the DMV, and put out an APB on my buddy. I was SOL. Looks like I'll be writing the RTD. TGIF. At this point, I thought I was going to OD. Felt like I ate DDT. The EMT took me to the ER. I was almost DOA. Good thing I didn't sign a DNR. Well, fortunately for me, the MD in the ICU was the head of the CDC and had a BA, an MA, a PhD from UCLA with a high GPA, and was a DDS, an OBGYN, a GP who specialized in ED, MS, and the effects of UVA and UVB rays after SPF 15 for the AMA. He also donates his time to the MDA. Lady! He puts in a lot of OT. He said to the RN, quick, start CPR, put 50 cc's in his IV, give him an EEG and an MRI, check him for HIV, test his PSA, get him to the OR, test his DNA, and check him for TB, and find out if he has an HMO or a PPO. If not, tell the CPA to put his name in his IBM PC and send the medicine COD on UPS or DHL. Whoa, after all this, I needed to straighten out, man. So I joined AA and became an MP in the USMC, a GI pulling KP. My CO down at HQ was a member of the NRA, the VFW, the CIA, the SLA, the KKK, the VA, and fought the KGB in the USSR for the USA and worked undercover looking for PCP for the DEA. He had beady eyes and hated the PLO. He called me on the PA and told me to get an AK-47 from the ATF and some TNT and BBs from the PX so I could blow up the NAACP meeting at the RKO on VE Day. He must have had PTSD, ADD, and OCD. I just looked at him and said, aye, aye. Instead, I went AWOL, moved to the UK, checked into a B&B, and caught some Z's. Now that I'm back, I do PI work for the INS, look for WMDs for the FBI, joined the PTA, volunteer at the SPCA, I formed the DBA, played for the MLB, and had a lot of RBIs. Then I got a job at AMCO. That's AA. MCO. After work, I hang out at the DQ by the farm. E-I-E-I-O. It's all the way out here in BFE. P.S. You're probably saying, yeah, BFD. So, how was your day?